The historic and amazing UFC 300 event recently passed last Saturday. I know I'm making a video late on it. I was trying to think of video ideas to do, and I didn't want to do the typical recap in the fucking event, because so many other people are already doing that, so might as well switch it up, right? And today, I wanted to talk about, quite possibly, he is the standout. He won $600,000.
I won $600K. That was fun tonight and a bonus, baby. Sign the checks.
Max Holloway. Before I get into the topic of the video, why the fuck is Max Holloway only ranked number 9 in the lightweight division? Nani? Homeboy literally beat rank number, 2? 3? And yet he's fucking ranked number 9? That's kind of ridiculous. I remember when Petr Yan was like number 2 or something. And then O'Malley fought him when he was like 13 or 11. He shot up straight to 1. How come Max Holloway is a number 2? I don't know. I don't know who fucking makes the list. I'm in the UFC rankings. Fucking stupid. It doesn't matter. Today, I want to talk about Max Holloway and his upcoming fights and how I think he fares against them. Kind of like a prediction video, but I'm basically just sharing my opinions, my analysis, and see what you guys think. Discuss in the comments. Let's get into it. Anyway, obviously, the first fight we're going to be talking about is Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria, the current featherweight champion. In my other Ilia Topuria video, I said that I think Max is Ilia's hardest fight, mainly because of the stand-up, and Max has decent enough ground game to either get up when he's taken down or stuff a few takedowns. And we haven't really seen Ilia Topuria's grappling. I know he has a bunch of submission wins outside of the UFC before he got into the UFC, but I haven't seen him use it like Bryce Mitchell, Ryan Hall. That's pretty much it. I haven't really seen him do anything else with it. I don't know if he took down Josh Emmett or anything, but yeah, we haven't really seen it. I'm pretty sure he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but we haven't seen his submission game in the UFC against high-level competition, so he's very much just a boxer. I'm pretty sure in UFC 5 they even have him categorized as a boxer because we haven't really seen his ground game yet. And as of right now, I'm rolling with Max because he just destroyed Justin Gaethje, who's a lot bigger and probably a harder puncher than Ilia Topuria. Well, I guess Max has to cut down in weight, so maybe that could affect his, maybe featherweight Max doesn't have as much, you know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of MMA math. Ilia Topuria probably will hit harder because Max is 145 and he's not as hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, even Max, at featherweight, has never been knocked down. It took Justin Gaethje to knock him down. So right now, I'm rolling with Max because no offense to Ilia, he beat Volkanovski. Volkanovski beat Max 3 times. I know we don't like to use MMA math if he beat Max, then Ilia automatically beats him. No, we don't know that for sure. And especially Volk was at that age, Max is still young. Volk is 35, 36, and that's usually when people in lighter weight classes fall off. So no offense, Volkanovski, I think it's your time. Anyway, on to the next fight. We are on to the lightweight division now, because I feel like this is the only fight that's waiting for Max at featherweight. And if he doesn't get it, then he'll probably just stay at lightweight, or if he beats Topuria, he could go for the lightweight title. So anyway, Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is scheduled to fight Islam Makhachev in June. Let's say something happens. Max fights Topuria, maybe loses, and then he has to have another fight before he can fight Islam for the title. Let's say that he fights Dustin Poirier. It's a rematch from the third match, right? They had one at featherweight, one at lightweight. Max wasn't really a true lightweight there, but now we have true lightweight Max. So if they were ever to run it back a third time, I think Max takes this easily. Dustin Poirier is getting up there in age. He's at that age. He's around the same age as Gaethje, and who is also around the same age as Volkan. Like we said, people who reach that 30, 35, 36 age range in the lighter divisions usually fall off around that time. So Dustin Poirier is right there. Maybe it's unfair to compare Beast Max, who full-on lightweight Max, and slightly falling off Dustin. I mean, Dustin did show that he had it against Benoit Saint Denis, but I guess we'll see what happens after the title fight with Islam. But I feel like Max now, in the future, whatever, I feel like he takes Dustin, especially now since Max is grown as a fighter, and like I've said before, he wasn't really a true lightweight the first time he came up. It was short notice, and he was kind of just I forgot what he said. not Fat Man Max, Chunky Max. I forgot what he said, but he wasn't a true lightweight. He was kind of just off the couch Max or whatever, just fat. But now he's a true lightweight with muscle on his frame. You know, he's accustomed to it. I think he takes Dustin Poirier. He is very good at keeping range. Like what you saw against Justin Gaethje. Homeboy was controlling that whole fight. He was throwing spinning back kicks. He was like controlling the pace. He was finding his groove. He was moving around too much. He couldn't. Justin couldn't make his reads. I feel like it'll be around the same as Dustin. Dustin Poirier just doesn't have that scary knockout power like Justin Gaethje. So if anything, it might be a field day for lightweight Max. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so far I'm taking Max in both of the fights. I feel like we're getting to the uncharted territory, the ones where it's going to be a little bit harder. You could call me a D rider after this next fight, but Charles Olivera, I feel like this would be extremely hard for Max. Obviously, the stand-up would be in Max's favor. Charles Olivera, I know he had like that really shitty frozen performance against Arman Tsarukyan, which I didn't think was that bad of a performance. The fight was very close, and honestly, depending on how you grade submission attempts, you could give it to Charles, but in my opinion, I feel like Charles lost convincingly to Arman. I understand the scoring system, but, you know, submission attempts, close submission attempts like that are very hard to grade. Max isn't Arman or Islam. He doesn't have that capability of wrestling, so jiu-jitsu defense, all this offensive grappling, all that stuff. So that's where it'll get scary. So let's say Charles decides to spam takedowns, or he wants to go and engage in the clinch. Let's say Max drops him and he gets ballsy and he's like, maybe I could finish Olives on the ground. So he goes to the ground. Also, this will be another rematch where fucking Charles Oliveira accidentally tore his esophagus. I think Max Holloway called for this fight. Or did Olivera call for this fight? One of the guys called for this fight. But yeah, so I think it would be interesting. Charles is a lot better on the stand-up now, too. So I guess, like I said, you could call me a fucking Charles Oliveira dick rider, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I feel like this is a good matchup, and I feel like I'm leaning in Charles' favor because Max doesn't have that pace of, like, grappling, heavy takedown, fucking wrestling, the heavy pace like the Marabs or the Aljamains or, you know, these guys who just keep going for takedowns. He doesn't have that kind of pressure like Arman and Islam. On to the next fight. I think this is the last fight I want to talk about because these are the only fights that really make sense. I was going to talk about Conor McGregor, but, you know, I want to see what he looks like against Michael Chandler first before I'm like, oh, I want to see Max versus Conor. Obviously, I want to see that, but Conor and Chandler are already booked, so you never know. Conor could retire after the Chandler fight. Anyway, last fight, Max Holloway versus the undisputed UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Unfortunately, this makes perfect. I didn't even do this on purpose, but the first two fights I chose Max. The last two fights I choose the other guy, and this one I'm choosing Islam because he has that heavy grappling, and also his striking's fucking excellent, and he's good at submissions. He's just overall well-rounded. I feel like Max would probably edge Olivera in the striking because Olivera kind of likes to throw random shit out there sometimes, and sometimes he's gun-shy. But I feel like this one would be more even. Obviously, if you just look at it, you're just like, oh, Dagestani wrestler, Sambo, whatever. Obviously, Max is a better striker. But not with Islam. Islam is not like Khabib or all these other guys. He has really good striking, as you saw in the Volkanovski, both Volkanovski fights. I know he kind of got messed up in the first one, but they're pretty even on the feet. And then the second one, you know, perfectly set up that head kick. So yeah, Islam's not someone to fuck around with. He has the grappling to fall back on, the fucking constant wrestling, the pressure. He'll push Max up against the cage, as you saw when Gaethje pushed Max up against the cage. Like that was when Max was in his most danger because he was risking getting caught by the power of Gaethje, but instead of the power of Islam, I mean, it could be the power of Islam. He could catch him. He also has the grappling, so Max has to think about all that shit. He might have fear of the takedown. Sure, Max is probably good with these wrestlers at 145, but 155, especially Islam, he's a big dude. This one, I'm 100% going with Islam. Islam has that aura of invincibility. Unfortunately, I think this match would be good. And honestly, it would kind of show us what would happen with that when Max was supposed to fight Khabib. But this is like Islam's a better Khabib because he has overall well-rounded striking and everything. So yeah, I think this would be a good matchup. If I were Max, I would honestly go for the 145-pound title first. Because, like I said, I think he clears that. No offense to Toria, I feel like he clears Toria, no problem. Well, obviously, it'll be like a competitive match, but Max would obviously edge it. I don't know if he would knock out Toria. I feel like he might edge him in a decision. Yeah, I don't see him knocking out Toria. Obviously, Max has enough power to knock out. He knocked out Justin Gaethje. I mean, he did knock out the Korean Zombie, but Korean Zombie has like a suspect chin. I mean, he had a suspect chin at that because he went through so many wars. But yeah, I don't know. Could Max knock out Toria? Probably. Honestly, probably. He clearly has the power for it. If he does another point in the middle and then they just start throwing, he could probably knock out Toria. But I don't see him knocking out Islam. I could see him potentially knocking out Charles, because Charles is a little bit chinny. Because like I said, he likes to throw defense out of the way and fucking just randomly throw shit like a flying knee. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Set that up. You can't just spam it. This isn't UFC 5. And Max wouldn't fall for that. So I would say this is like probably a 99%. I'm choosing Islam. Olivera one's probably like 75%. Just in case, you know, because I'm like, sometimes Olivera kind of throws. And then, you know, I feel like Max clears Poirier and Ilya. Actually, maybe not clears Ilya. Maybe I'm taking Max like 88%. Because Ilya's still dangerous. He's a great boxer. And he has, you never know. He might be able to knock out a 145-pound Max, but he probably wouldn't be able to knock out a 155-pound Max. Come on, let's be real. If Gaethje couldn't, no one is. Fuck it would have to be Alex Pereira to knock out fucking Max Holloway. But yeah, anyway, guys, those were the fights I wanted to talk about. I feel like Max Holloway has so many options. Ilya Topuria is like, he doesn't have any options. I'm the champ. I choose him. He can either choose you, he could choose Islam, he could choose Conor, he could do whatever the fuck he wants. Max Holloway could do whatever. He's like in the best position possible. Unfortunate for both Gaethje and Olivera. They both lost their title shots, but you know, it is what it is. I would love to see Max potentially get double champ status. I mean, I don't think he would get it because Islam all the way, bro. Islam just seems too unbeatable, but I feel like he could beat Ilya. Get that belt, challenge Islam. That would be entertaining. That would be fun. Islam kind of had trouble with Volkanovski in the first fight. Maybe with a true... Because Max is basically like... He trained for a while to become a lightweight. I feel like with the Volk rematch, it was kind of like... He didn't get enough time to acclimate. Because apparently Max was training for the Gaethje... becoming a lightweight before the Gaethje fight was even announced. So who knows how long he was packing on that... muscle to go up to lightweight. But I feel like Volk didn't have as much time as Max. So you never know. Islam has struggled with featherweights before, like featherweights as in Volkanovski. So you never know. A true lightweight Max, maybe he'll give him some trouble. And maybe Max is a lot stronger and his wrestling is a lot better at 155. You don't know. See, this is what makes MMA awesome. That I don't know. And this is perfect because Max Holloway is a G. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I know this was a little late. UFC 300 was like 4 days ago. But, you know, better late than never, right? I got more uploads coming out, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think about these matchups. And do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Why do you disagree with me? And just let me know, bro. Flame me. I don't care. Call me Charles Olivera Dick Rider. I don't care, bro. That's my dog. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.
All I gotta say, I'm him. I'm him, guys.